It's me again. I'm back with another update for this developing ice storm over Oklahoma. Alright, so we got a couple more model runs in of the more high-res rapid refresh models. So, I've actually updated my forecast, and the latest trend is more towards the ugly side of this event. Was while the highest totals are coming down, the total totals are spread out wide or across the state. So as you'll see here, if you watch my old webcast, we've very much expanded the quarter of an inch forecast zone. For a quarter of an inch to maybe 3/10 of an inch is very widespreadly possible. So starting to keep an eye out. Really, the other totals stayed the same. I'm not expecting a big southeast push of the cold freezing gale, so that's good. It will kind of limit the area. Um, but again, if you're in this, it's definitely not a good time. So with the updated ice forecast, I also updated the slick spots forecast. Really do expect more widespread secondary roads to be slick, as well as secondary roads. All roads, excuse me. All roads, in fact, could probably be pushed a little bit further south and east as well. But right now, we will retain that forecast. But be aware that road conditions will become slick and hazardous for much of the area in northwestern Oklahoma, including a large stretch of I-40 in western Oklahoma, where there has already been several accidents. And power outages again are also expanded. Wider area of heavy ice, so that's why the power outage potential is higher than it has been. If you are just now tuning in, I'm going to show you the road conditions map, and we'll come back to these forecasts, so stick around, and if you have any questions in the meantime, pop them in the chat, and I'll answer them. Alright, so I'll go ahead and switch over to the road condition map. So this is the Oklahoma Department of Transportation map. Orange means roads are no good, do not travel on them at all. And these blue roads and blue counties mean that roads are slick in spots. Travel is still not recommended on these roads. Really, if you live anywhere close to these roads or in these counties, stay home if you can, and don't travel unless you absolutely have to. There's been numerous accidents as I'm monitoring Twitter, especially near Weatherford on I-40. There was a multiple vehicle pileup, over 1 dozen cars, including semis. So definitely lots of accidents occurring out there. Alright, so I see a lot of people are just now joining us, so I'm going to go back to our forecast. This is something that many of you have seen before. For this event. You'll notice that the quarter of an inch to really 3/10 of an inch range is very much expanded from my earlier forecasts. This is due to the cold air being wrapped more into the farther southeast than we initially expected. So that's kind of where we're starting with this. Let's see. Hold on. Looks like stream's having a little bit of an issue on my. Okay, there we go. We're back. Alright, so anyway, as I was saying, quarter of an inch to 3/10 of an inch in the dark gray color. This is expanded due to colder than expected temperatures throughout today, farther southeast than we expected. So, as we get that banding rainfall, moving through, we do expect some ice accumulations to occur, significantly causing impacts to travel, and a few power interruptions are definitely possible as well. Other precipitation amount areas are been retained as, again, the position of the cold front is very well defined on the Oklahoma Mesonet maps. So, slick spots forecast. I could have expanded the all roads areas south and east in having a broader area, but for now we'll just retain that area, but be aware that roads in northwestern months of western Oklahoma will not be good to travel on tonight and into tomorrow morning. By mid-morning, hopefully the sun will peek out and melt some of the ice on the roadways, and the crews will do a good job making the roadways clear. Um, and then power outages again in western Oklahoma, as we do expect some ice accumulations on elevated power lines, especially. So which will cause weight and may cause them to snap. Wind's not going to be strong, so we're not going to have widespread power outages, but isolated power outages are possible. All right. Got a couple of questions in the chat here. Owasso, colder than expected. Yeah. 34 Willie is kind of the range we were originally thinking for the area, but really for Tulsa, the Tulsa area. It's always been more of a rain event with this system. Not expecting a lot of ice out towards Tulsa. Freezing rain. Let me look at the Mesonet map. Show you this data here. So as you can see, temperature's very close to freezing near Tulsa. This front will not move, so really if you're below freezing now, that's where you're going to get some ice accumulations at. If you're above freezing, it's likely going to stay there. So not expecting a ton of ice accumulations around the Tulsa metro area, but again, anywhere from a glaze to a tenth of an inch is possible. Probably do a good job in Tulsa getting the roadways clear. I check out the precipitation here. It looks like there is some precip in Tulsa coming through. Much of the state's seeing precip right now. I'm not expecting a huge temperature drop for the Tulsa area. But glaze of ice, be prepared in Tulsa, El Waso area. Alright, I'll go ahead and flip back over to the Mesonet data and we'll go through it a little bit more in detail. So again, this freezing line has been pretty much stationary throughout the day, Hasn't really moved a whole lot. Very lightly crept to the south and east. But really, this has just caused ground temperature surfaces to cool off very rapidly throughout the day, allowing this freezing rain to stick easier to surfaces, especially those exposed to winds and open air, as there was more surface area for it to cool off with. So really, anywhere 25, 26, 28 degrees, those are really ridiculously low temperatures for freezing rain. Normally you'll see more sleet and snow with those temperatures, but not with this. It's a very shallow cold front that's moving through that's causing this temperature, so it won't have time to freeze into sleet, which is unfortunate. Sleet and snow is definitely a lot better than freezing rain. You can kind of get a little bit of traction if you're driving. It doesn't stick to power lines, but freezing is just a mess. I imagine there will be a lot of ice scraping going on in the morning, but travel is really not recommended tomorrow morning, especially as we're letting the road crews come around and start treating the road. And once they get treated, they'll start to become better rapidly. So the next map I'll show is going to be soil temperature. Soil temperatures really, this is 2 inches below on bare soil. You'll notice that the temperatures are well above freezing, 2 inches below, which is good. That means the ice should melt rather quickly. once we get into the morning hours. And we start getting some solar radiation and terrestrial radiation from the Earth, and we'll start melting the ice from two ways. Looks like we have school closings and delays. Comanche Nation Complex open at 9 a.m. Friday. Arapahoe Butler Public Schools open at 10 a.m. Arnett open at 9:15. And I'm sure there's a lot more school closings that are occurring. Look them up on wherever you get your school closing information from. What else can I show you on this map? On this page. Dew point humidity. Why not? Relative humidity. If you can't tell by the rain, it's high humidity. So, really nothing exciting there. I will show you, I showed you some of y'all this oil, but this is the observed soundings that the NWS launches that gives us a profile of the atmosphere and tells us what kind of precipitation we can expect. This is actually from Amarillo, Texas office. This is really the most representative of the atmosphere where the freezing rain is occurring right now. As you can see, most of the temperatures are below freezing except for this area right here where my mouse is circling around. That's above freezing, which is causing all the ice as it's falling to melt into rain, and then it just doesn't have time to freeze before it hits the ground. And when it hits the ground, that's when it gets an opportunity to freeze. So again, this is not the sounding you want to see for winter weather. It leads to more freezing rain than snow or sleet. Again, I'd take snow and sleet any day over freezing rain. But unfortunately, we have freezing rain, and it's causing a mess. This is the Oklahoma Department of Transportation map. The counties in orange are slick and hazardous roads, and blue areas are slick roads. Really, travel is not recommended in either. Orange, really, don't even think about it unless you absolutely have to. Blue means you can kind of get to your destination, but it's not going to be a fun ride. Travel is still not advised. And I only expect these roads to get worse as tonight moves on. And they will probably move, they will slowly creep south and east, the bad roads. Not terribly far, but another county or two. So, again, don't travel if you don't have to tonight into tomorrow morning. If you do have to travel, give yourself plenty of time. Drive slow. Better to drive slow and get to your destination than be in a ditch somewhere or crash into somebody. Not fun. I'll go ahead and swing back to the forecast we have out now. This, again, we adjusted this throughout the day 3 or 4 times now. But the latest thinking is widespread 1/4 of an inch to 1/3 of an inch of freezing rain accumulation in northwestern Oklahoma. This is definitely wider than we were expecting, again, due to the larger freezing area than we were expecting. So definitely a situation that has gotten worse throughout the day. Luckily, it does seem, as we're approaching the event, this is the solution that everyone's coming to a consensus on. So that's good. Confidence is increasing with this. Right now, the Weather Service does have winter weather advisories out for much of northwestern Oklahoma and western Oklahoma. But for these ice totals from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, since they've put it out, the totals have slowly increased through each model run and each new set of data I've looked at. So I wouldn't be surprised if an ice storm warning got put out for a few counties in Oklahoma tonight. For the official definition of an ice storm is 1/4 of an inch of ice or more. So again, we're right on that threshold of 1/4 of an inch to 3/10 of an inch being widespread. So whether they do it or not, I'm not going to try to read their minds. They have their own reasons for what they're doing. But my goal is to give you my best forecast, and this forecast is what I think will happen. So quarter of an inch to 3/10 of an inch in northwestern Oklahoma. Maybe a couple higher amounts possible. Really, it starts tapering off rather quickly as you move towards either side of the event, specifically to the south and east, as we just won't have the prolonged freezing temperatures. So glaze to a 10 minutes of ice seen right along the I-44 corridor. Again, rural roads will probably take a little bit of time to recover. City roads, normally they do a pretty good job to recover fairly quickly. So hopefully by early morning to mid-morning, roads will be nice and drivable. Again, slick spots forecast. This is really your road conditions. Secondary roads widespread in the quarter of an inch to range. Be secondary, and anything higher will be slick everywhere, especially tonight. So just keep that in mind if you're traveling. So thanks, Eric. Bruce, Will Rogers, tomorrow at noon, I don't expect to be an issue. They will probably have plenty of maintenance crews out there doing what they need to the runway. I haven't saw any reports of delays or anything out of Will Rogers. I haven't really looked for them specifically, but I'd imagine it will flow just fine. It's 29 with freezing rain in Rocky. Thanks, Janice. Appreciate that report. Now, any reports we get is very helpful to us as we know exactly where the freezing rain is occurring. Okay, I'll go ahead and move back to this road conditions map, give you another quick look at that. This updates every 5 minutes. You can see I-40 slick, especially near Weatherford area, and Panhandle is already slick. Another thing I will show you on the Mesonet that I did not show you before is these wind gauge reports. Anywhere you see a red dot, that means the wind gauge is frozen. And what that means is there's so much ice that the anemometer cannot turn and properly record the wind speeds. So the Mesonet flags this as bad data, and we can assume that that's where freezing rain is occurring. So as you can see, it's really just north of I-44 from the Oklahoma-Texas border to the Oklahoma City metro area that we do in between I-40 and 44 there. That we have freezing rain so much that it prohibits the anemometer from moving. This is 2 to 3 meters off the ground, so 6 to 9 feet roughly, that we're experiencing freezing rain stopping wind gauges at. So it's something to keep in mind as we it's starting to freeze and clog up things and make observations kind of hard to see. I do expect these to spread further north as precipitation is just starting to begin up now. Okay, I'm going to look through some Twitter reports. If you have any questions, send them my way. I'll look at what I can and help you out. Apparently, one lane is now open on I-40, 6 miles west of Weatherford. Getting a bit icy in northwest Oklahoma City. Nothing on the roads yet. Okay. What I'm doing is going through the hashtag OKWX on Twitter right now and just seeing what reports are being reported. Nothing crazy being reported right now. I will look up Will Rogers output traffic. much was it? See what we're seeing here. Yeah, I'm not seeing delays at Will Rogers yet. So if you're flying in or out tomorrow, I'm not expecting any major delays from Will Rogers. Got a few late and very late, so apparently. I'm sure they were trying to fly around a lot of this convective precip. That's one thing I really haven't mentioned so far tonight, is that you could actually see a few lightning strikes with this due to the convective nature of these and the temperature and ice crystals in the clouds. So, yeah, don't be scared if you hear some lightning. We're not talking severe storms. Obviously, ice is not fun to deal with, but it's not classified as severe. But there will be lightning. So you may wake up to a big boom in the middle of the night. So just be aware of that. What do I want to show now? I guess I can show you all the radar. Yeah, let's show the radar. This is radar scope that I'm showing here. Really, you can see a lot of rain is occurring. You draw that freezing line on here. I'm not an artist, so don't go too hard on me. Like, right, there's the freezing line-ish. So anything that's occurring to the west of this will be freezing, and anything to the east will most likely be falling as rain. So that's kind of the general landscape of it. Really, you'll see precipitation bands moving throughout the night. So just something to keep an eye on as we go through this evening. Alright, so does anybody else have any more questions for me? I'll obviously stay around, stay awake for another hour or so, monitor the latest data, and if anything significant pops up, I'll definitely do another update. Definitely an event to watch out for. If you don't have to travel tomorrow morning, I do not recommend traveling. I know some schools are closing. Do research if you have to get kids to school, or if you're a student, do some research, just 5 minutes. I imagine this event has caught a lot of people by surprise, and they won't be making those decisions till tomorrow morning. So, yeah, you're going to be in early morning. Make sure you get up early enough. If you do have to be out, scrape the ice off your cars. I'm sure that's going to be a horrible experience. And take it safe on the roadways, everybody. Take your time, get there on time. Leave early to get there on time. If you leave when you normally do, you'll probably be late. Should be late, because most roads will be slick and hazardous in northwestern Oklahoma. Alright, so I think that's about all I have right now. Still waiting for a couple more models to come in, but I don't see anybody else having questions. If you do have questions, send me a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want. I'll see it. Thank y'all very much for watching. Stay safe out there.